this is Koiro, and this time I have a computer that I have not ever opened the briefcase of. And that is my Mitac perishable computer, and as you can see it's in a bit of a rough shape, and what's inside this will be a surprise both for me and for you. First we have this interesting looking towel, and we have some more stuff inside, and this is the computer itself. We will get some close-up shortly. And this is the power brick with a special looking power supply. And this is the lid for the battery compartment, I think. The battery is removed. And it's the carrying strap. No floppy disks in the floppy disk compartments. One other flap in this compartment here. Maybe it's something that's broken off. It's a small lid. We will look into that. And yeah, we will use this towel to put on the bench. Like so. And this is the power brick, and this is a switch mode power supply, 11 volt, 2.8 ampere, and it takes a normal power connector. And this is the computer itself, and I do see some corrosion here on the battery tabs, so maybe the battery was removed too late, but we will see. I will give you some close-up of this, and we can see what's inside. Yeah, it's a boot disc that's placed in this station. So, I give you some close-ups. This machine is theft marked with this branding that was usual back in the day. They used this staple that used some acid or some other stuff to etch the name inside plastic. And this computer is actually from the Norwegian Defense, and it made the Defense School Center and a number, and you have this selector mark markings. That's the brand of this special marking. And you have here, you have a VGA connector, you have a PS2 connector, and you have the contrast and brightness knobs on this side. On the back side you do have here, this I think is the special power connector, I'm not sure. This is a printer connector and a serial port. And there was this flap that was here. I can't find this. Oh yeah, this is the flap. It should be like this. There was a hinge here and it should close like this. And this flap here, and the battery compartment, as you can see, is empty, and there are some slight corrosion here on this minus pole of this battery. And this machine has also been opened. Down here you can see a warranty sticker, warranty void if this is removed, and the screw that you see here has actually been removed. So maybe this computer died and they opened it, or maybe they did some upgrades, or maybe just someone was curious and wanted to look into this. Either way, it's no way for us to know without opening the computers ourselves. And you also have a memory card slot here. And this is a 4 megabyte DRAM. And this is, it almost looks like a normal PCMCA slot, and it's put in this special handle. So at least we know this computer has 4 megabytes of memory. And if we see on the label here, it stated the serial number and it's stated some other stuff, but I don't think there are any date markings in this. Maybe there are, but I don't know how to decipher them into normal thinking. And open this for the first time. The plastic here is a bit bent here, but I don't think that's an issue. Maybe it has been that all the way. The keyboard, yeah, the keyboard looks okay for a computer this vintage. We have power switch, suspend switch, yeah, the function keys, escape key. Nothing really unusual here. It's a bit, I'm a bit unfamiliar with this kind of layout, but you have the arrow keys here and you have some of the other special keys here that's normal around the numeric keypad. And here you have the hard drive light, you have power light, you have the light for suspend, you have the num lock, you have the scroll lock, and you have the caps lock. And there also are some lights here, I'm not sure what they are. And the designator for this machine is a 3026E, and it's marked Mitac here. And Mitac as a brand in Norway was normally sold by what became the CNET Corporation. They started out selling Mitac computers before they moved into their own PC production and started to deliver CNET computers back in the 90s. So this machine is probably delivered by CNET, or maybe it was some other importer too of Mitac in some years, I'm not sure. But Mitac was an original manufacturer with their own factories. If this machine is an OEM machine produced by someone else, I really don't know. But now you've seen the computer, you've seen the power brick. It actually has 2 lights. One with a battery symbol and one with the light here for running. So maybe this power supply is charging the battery in some special way, I'm not sure. There are a lot of pins on this power supply. If this machine works without the battery, I really have no idea. But the only way to find out is to test the computer, and we will try to do just that. Yep, there we have the power supply in place. And we find a power connector, like so. And it did light up here, both the green light on the battery and on the if this is the primary and secondary side of this, I don't know, it's 2 green lights anyway. And here you don't have any lights, not power and not suspend. I have the lid off and I try to switch it on. The Mitac 3026E is also a mysterious computer. Of course, there has been a long time since this machine was current in the market, but even though the internet is almost silent when it comes to this machine, we have been able to dig up some stuff, but not much. But we do know some facts about this machine. It has an Intel 386 SX20 MHz CPU, and it's normal that this computer has 4 megabytes of memory. Although our machine had this extra card with 4 megabytes of memory, it seems that this is extra, so I will guess that our machine has a total of 8 megabytes of memory. And this machine, it's stated here DOS 6.2, it obviously was not delivered with that. So I don't know what version of DOS was delivered on this machine, but if it was in 1991, I would guess that it was DOS 3.3 that was delivered with this computer when it was new. The unit was delivered with a 60 megabyte hard drive. Some models has a 40 megabyte hard drive. I'm not confirmed if our model is 60 megabyte hard drive, as I have not seen this machine before we unpacked it today. And the keyboard is without a pointing device, which was quite common back in the day. And the machine has black and white with grey tones, 640 by 480 LCD. And it's a passive matrix black and white LCD, so it's kind of slow and shadowy. And the internet sources stated that this battery should last up to 2.5 hours, but we have not been able to find a sales brochure for this machine. And the weight of this machine is about 3 kilos without the complete weight of the power supply. And the machine was launched in 1991, and there was 2 models available at the time. One 16 MHz and one 20 MHz version of this computer. The only source I've been able to find in a magazine is that this machine is noted in an article in the November issue in 1991 of the magazine InfoWorld. The 2 Mitac notebooks that are affected by the price crossing, the 16 MHz and the 20 MHz version of the 3026E. And it stated that the original sales price for this machine was $2,795 and it's cut by $400. And this was in November 1991. And the most critical part is that I have not been able to find the service manual for the Mitac 3026E. And that's a main concern of mine, because I usually don't go digging into stuff without browsing through a service manual first. I like to have a clear understanding of what I'm doing and do fault finding from a theoretical perspective and not just guesswork. There are some service manuals for newer versions of Mitac equipment, but that's not relevant in our case. And that is all we have been able to dig up online about this machine. There are some machines for sales on various sources, but nothing else. And you can hear there is a hard drive spinning up. And I do see some light on the screen. This was the brightness. This is a Super Twist LCD, and it's starting MS-DOS from this floppy. I will try to switch off the overhead lights and we see if we can get a better screenshot. Yes, this is as good as it gets when it comes to screenshot here, and you can see that this machine has counted up a lot of memory. So this machine has 8 megabytes of memory, and you have the 640K system, and you have 384 key shadow, and the DOS clock, we just enter on this, and this floppy was MS-DOS 6.22, and I don't know if there is a hard drive in this computer. Yeah, there was no F-disk. Try to switch to C, an invalid drive specification. So that means that I don't know if this drive is working or not. I can try to boot it with another floppy to see if I have F-disk. This is a 1.44 megabyte drive. I don't have the required DOS disk for this on this format. I will try to reboot. And they say that this is a chip lapset BIOS, and they do state some other BIOS versions, and the latest date here is 1991, and this is my Tandy DOS disk 3.3 version. No fixed disk present. So this machine does not recognize the fixed disk, even though it's spinning it up. So I might need to get a setup program or some other program to see that. I will try to see if the machine actually works. running a program other than DOS. I will try to start a Tetris clone, and it does look like it will run. And this is a monochrome only Tetris, so it's quite a simple version of Tetris. And I can see absolutely nothing. Yeah, that's not very compatible. I have not prepared anything this modern. You can try. I have this old Pac-Man clone, I think. So I think that is just as old. Yeah, it's from 1982. Do you want sound? Yes. Press any other key to select your own controls. Left, right, up, down. Yeah, and it's so fast you can only see the characters. There's a blur on the screen, so that's not good. But at least the machine is working. And if the hard drive is imminent failure on the disk, or if there is some setup issue, I really don't know. And I have to do some research to see how we get into the BIOS on this machine. There was no message in startup and so on. So I will just try to turn it off, and I will try to hit some of the normal keys for going into the setup. No, just a keyboard error. Yeah, now I tried to boot it without anything entered, and it says diskette error. So it will only recognize the disk drive. But I do think that this machine is working, and I do need to have a future project on this machine where I take it up and I check to see if I can get the hard drive working, or if the interface is of a kind that makes me do some replacement or some other issues with this. But I will make a follow-up to this in due time. So that's it for this short video on my Mitac 3026E. Hope you enjoyed the video. Please hit subscribe if you want to be notified when we post the next episode. And do hit the like button or make a comment. Hope to see you in the next one.